even to the team selection today, I think we spoke about the consistency of team selections hasn't been there for Man United, so you can't build relationships on the pitch. But even playing centre midfielders in defensive positions, he's done it 3 times this year, and 3 times they've conceded 3 goals. So that tells you one thing. But listen, at the end of the fans are frustrated. You can see it in the guy there who's talking in the video, and it's a shame to see it. But I spoke so much earlier with Scholesy and yourself at the game. Something's got to give at some point.
Yeah.
So
when is that? He was very articulate, that gentleman who spoke there, Mark, was it? And you can feel his frustration. It's a mess at the moment at Manchester United. And maybe, in a weird sort of way, today was a good result, because it's highlighted what an absolute. I use the word mess again because it's come into my mind. That is going on at this club. This was a club that, was always a step above everybody else, or wanted to be. That not a bad word came out, not a bad word seeped out to the press. It's like a pantomime at the minute. They are in the press for the wrong reasons every single minute. I know it's good copy because it's Manchester United, and I felt sorry for him, and I feel sorry for poor Paul Scholes, who has to watch Manchester United perform so bad in the last couple of years and has to comment on it. But they have to do something, and maybe today is the turning point.
It's only
Sanchez
a good day
not there.
if they do something, isn't it?
Well,
it's
exactly.
Only a good day
maybe today is the one time, because I know there's been bad times in the last couple of years and the way they've played, but today, with the circus around them, seems to be the point. That's the tipping point today. Sanchez not there. Players playing in all the wrong positions. The midfield being bereft of any pace and any genuine, creativity.
Right.
It just
So
looks as if they're a million miles away.
If today is the day, if today is the landmark day where something has to change, what is that something?
Well, I said it earlier, that's for the hierarchy of the football club to decide. That's their job. You're put in charge of the football club to manage it and run it right.
But if you're in the hierarchy, what would you do?
I'm not in a hierarchy.
I'm not saying sack the manager. That's too easy.
So what then? I'm not saying you should.
But they need to get together. They need to say, look, nothing seeps out of this club. There's no social media. There's no shenanigans going on. Keep the press away from the grounds. When Jose sits in front of the press, he's nice and charming, like he was in previous years when he was a manager. And the club goes on absolute lockdown, and then we work hard.
Who drives that though?
Because what I've said, the narrative of the club, especially this year, from the pre-season, unfortunately hasn't been football. It's been everything but football. It's been about everything off the field, with individual players, with spats, with little mini wars within the club. That's not right. That's not how a successful football club runs. You've got to make sure that you've got players in there that there's a harmony within the squad. There's an ambience.
Who's going to bring that?
There's a harmony being built. We look at Chelsea today. The ambience in that squad is positive. It's happy for one reason: Sarri. That's what a manager's in there to create. He's in there to create an environment that's a happy place to work. And that then breeds positivity, and that is a platform, a foundation for success. And now we talk about little details, like social media. I'll be honest with you, if I was a manager of a football club, I'd shut down social media. Because that's a problem that keeps coming out. It's something that all the fans are talking about. It's something that the manager talked about on the training pitch in front of the cameras. Shut it down.
They can't shut it down and use it at the same time.
Listen, the best.
They have their own webpage.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, you do it. You control it. Look at LeBron James. LeBron James goes into playoff mode. Don't use social media. That's telling the fans, whatever happens, I'm serious about my game. There needs to be messages put out there that can portray a seriousness, a professionalism, a desire to win. And they might not be big things, but these little blocks amount to big things. And that needs to be set in stone. And there's one person who sets that in stone. That's the manager.
But is he going to do that? Is he going to change his approach now and say, right?
The issue with Jose that I've seen at various clubs that he's been at, when that momentum starts to go a certain way, he's never had the ability to bring it back. So we can sit here and go, he's still the guy for the job because we know how great a manager he is. But, it happened here at Chelsea, it happened in Madrid, and it's happened, obviously, at United, where he's singling people out. It started in the summer, with the tour. Then it was Luke Shaw's time. Then it was Martial's turn. Then it was, I think Rashford got his little douse. Now the two centre-halves have been getting it. How many more are kind of getting heavily publicly criticised and still, which you do get as a player, but at the same time, he's not getting a tune out of any of them by doing
It's
that.
almost an ultimatum now from someone like Ed Woodward to say, look, you have to do something different because the loser in all of this is Manchester United. All of the stats say Man United are a mid-table side. The table, their 10th, tells us Man U are a mid-table side.
I wouldn't blame Joe. I wouldn't lay everything on Jose's.
No, but someone somewhere has to make a decision that it changes. I don't know. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who that is, but Jose has to play a bigger part. The players certainly have to play a bigger part. These are the players who finished second in the league last year. Second, the 10th, and they look a million miles away from what they are. Pogba looks a million miles away from the player he shows in a shirt of Juventus and a shirt for France. Alexis Sanchez looks like someone completely different. You know, they've spent money on quality players. They can't blame the manager all the time. Formations, in the end, they have to express themselves. They need to be confident. Probably they need a pat on the back at times from the manager to say, keep on going. But this is a collective umbrella. You can't just suddenly say, Jose, get rid of him. Pogba, get rid of him, because, you know, they're arguing with each other. This is Manchester United you're talking about. They're an absolute mess.
He's definitely right, Maka, in that it's not just Jose, and we don't want to. I don't want to sit here and sound like it's all about Jose and just the manager, because it's a two-way thing. The players have to go out there and put what he's putting down into practice. But I go back to today's performance, and I go back to performance we've seen in the last year or so. It's about a work ethic. When you walk into a football club, whether it's a Sunday League team, whether it's a pub team, whether it's a Premier League team, the first thing on the tin that needs to be done is to work hard. Before you talk about football ability, before you talk about who can score goals, etc., you've got to earn the right to play. It's an old saying that people say, but you have to. It doesn't change. That ain't going to change. That's the same thing before you do anything, you work hard and you make sure you put the other team under pressure so that when you come in, no one can sit there and say to you, oh, you didn't put it in today. That's an embarrassment. If someone said to me in training, let alone in a match, you didn't work as hard as you can do today, you're not putting it in, I would be mortified. I'd be sitting there going home, looking at me thinking, I'm cheating myself. I'm not even cheating, I'm cheating my teammates. I'm cheating the people that pay my wages. I think it's a disgrace for someone to be able to sit there and call you out for your work ethic. As a football player, as an athlete, I don't agree with that. It shouldn't happen. And so the players have to take responsibility if that is happening.